Hey now, Star Wars fans. Matt Haywood here from the Star Wars Time Show, and I'm kind of presenting you with a day late and a dollar short breakdown of the Bad Batch sizzle reel. And because it is so late, no one's going to watch it anyways. I'm not even doing this thing with a script. We're just going to get right into it. I've snapped some of the more key moments from the sizzle reel video that was shown off at the Disney investors meeting, just to kind of give some speculative thoughts on what may be going on in the Bad Batch when it hits Disney Plus. Alright, so like I said, no script. Here we go. Well, clearly the Bad Batch are going to make their way back to Kamino, their home, at some point in time in the Bad Batch animated series. And we're actually going to see a few other screens coming up here that I believe are set on Kamino. So at some point they do get kind of called back into home base. Alright, up next we get the full squad, which is now 5 strong, thanks to Echo joining it at the end of the Clone Wars. It's the first time we actually get to see Echo in his Bad Batch armor. We're actually going to get another shot here coming up with his helmet on. So good to see our man Echo fully and officially in the Bad Batch with his armor at this point in time. And what do you know, look at that. There is Echo in his full Bad Batch armor. He's the one there far to the left. So that's what our boy looks like, fully decked out in the Bad Batch suite. Alright, and here we have what looks to be the clone training facility, at least kind of the battle arena that we saw featured in the Clone Wars. So it looks like the boys will be experiencing a bit of nostalgia in the Bad Batch on Kamino. Up next, again, I still think this is all on Kamino, and this is probably going to happen early on, where they call back all the clones back to Kamino, and you got Hunter here and some of the Bad Batch, but this is when they are in this big, huge courtyard, open area, commons, whatever you want to call it, listening to Emperor Palpatine's victory speech. Alright, this shot here, and the next two shots we're going to see, it looks like we're going to get the return of the light whip in Star Wars, so that's pretty neat. And like I said, just a follow-up here. I believe this is all going to take place on the planet we've seen in this trailer a few times, kind of with the dome-shaped structures and whatnot. Alright, it had to throw in a shot of Hunter looking fully like Rambo, because that obviously is a key moment in any Bad Batch sizzle reel. Here we go. I'm thinking here at this point the Bad Batch is probably going to be fighting back against other clones. I mean, it's hinted at throughout this sizzle reel. And if we come to the next shot, I mean, maybe they're shooting at these guys. I can tell you one thing's for sure, that the clone with the green visor is probably an important clone, maybe a named clone from the movies or the Clone Wars itself, because he shows up a few times with another important clone, which has a little bit of rumor swirling around him that I will address shortly. Okay, here, again, like I said, looks like all the clones are going to be recalled to Kamino, either to be repurposed, terminated, who knows what, but here they are listening to Palpatine's speech. And how do I know this is Kamino? Well, I am a genius, but also because if you look in that window, you can tell that, you know, people like Taun We and what's his name, Fen, they're in there. So Kamino. And there's another look at Echo in his armor, because we all love the named clones. And so now we've seen him with the helmet off, with the helmet on, and now with the helmet sort of on and off. Alright, so as I said earlier, that it seems there's going to be a foil group of clones to go against the Bad Batch. And rumor has it is that this clone right here, the one in the lead to the right, the main focus of the image, a lot of people are thinking that is going to be Commander Cody, which obviously would be very interesting and add a intriguing dynamic to the Bad Batch, having a famous, iconic clone like Cody essentially sticking with his heel turn after Order 66 and carrying out the bidding of the Empire, which at this point looks like taking out the Bad Batch, because clearly those dudes aren't going to jive with what the Empire wants them to do, nor their programming. They are the Bad Batch after all. Alright, look at this surprise. It looks like Fennec Shand will show up in the Bad Batch series. Just, you know, creating a great parallel between the live-action debut of her character in The Mandalorian and just all the world building we're getting now from the animated series to the live action. Just fantastic stuff. So happy to see her in this show. It looks like there's some sort of Dark Trooper action going on at the fall of the Republic and the birth of the Empire. So maybe this was practice for them. But based on the scenes, it looks like they're being unleashed on the Bad Batch to take them out. All right, these next two shots, I believe, are of the planet Bracca, which we learned about in Jedi Fallen Order. So it looks like the Bad Batch will be headed there for some reason or another. Here's just another shot, and like I said, I can almost guarantee this is Bracca based on this shot, because if you look at the two characters there, they're wearing the same uniforms that Cal Kestis wore in the video game. All right, here's this guy again. You know, he's got that green visor. I'm not saying he's Gree. We know what happened to Gree. But it could be another important clone, one that we may know about, and it looks like he is a part of, supposedly, Badman Cody's little hit squad here. Oh, there's Fennec again. Hey, Fennec. Alright, so I kept this one in here because it just solidifies that the Bad Batch it will not be going along with the Empire's plans. You got Wrecker here. He's about to bust some heads of some Kamino clones that clearly have not figured out that they are being used, but it's pretty clear from the sizzle reel that the Bad Batch will remain on the side of good. Same thing here. I mean, it looks like Crosshairs gets a little pissy with some of his brothers who probably he thinks are complacent or doing the wrong thing because of everything that is now happening in the galaxy. And there's just another shot of this hit squad, like I said, the foil to the Bad Batch, which, by rumors, if you take them for what they are, but I think it's probably a good guess that the lead guy here will be Cody. So very interesting story dynamics can happen if that turns out to be the case. We get this shot, so I'm not sure if this is going to be a flashback because it's very clearly Republic forces fighting against Separatist forces. So it could be a flashback or just checking in with, obviously a far out territory that does not know the war is over yet. Who knows, maybe this is where it picks up, and this will be the last time we see Bad Batch in action before everything goes to hell. And then finally, this was a nice little tease. We are going to get Tarkin back in animated form. He definitely was in the Clone Wars. Can't remember if he showed up in Rebels. I'm sure he did. But he will be in the Bad Batch, and he is fully into his Imperial garb at this point in time. So it sounds like, just based on what he said, that he may be using the Bad Batch for some nefarious purposes, which may be the catalyst to make them realize that they're no longer working for the good guys. They are indeed working for a bunch of scumbags that are trying to take over the entire galaxy with tyrannical rule. So there you have it. No script, just kind of pulling stuff out my butt. Probably wasn't great. Delivery probably sucked. No one's going to watch it anyways, but I had to get it out of my system. Of course, Nick and I will be talking about this more on the next episode of the Star Wars Time Show. So make sure to check out the links in this video's description. Like the video, comment on it, do what you got to do. Keep promoting your boys at the Star Wars Time Show, because there's always time for Star Wars time. And besides, if you listen to the Star Wars Time Show, the Force will be with you always.